Hi everyone, my name is Leo and with this video we share a demo review of the mVave Tank G2. First of all, we will hear the unit in action with the demo song, then we will describe the main characteristics of this unit, also providing you with some latency info. Then we will hear more sounds, also comparing the mVave versus real tube amps and performing the null test. And finally, I will give you my 2 cents. So I hope you enjoy and please subscribe and ring the bell, as it would really help me to create more videos like this. Let's start with the demo song. Let's now describe the mVave Tank G version 2. First of all, it is an amp modeler with 9 amp simulations and 8 IRs, with the possibility to load our own IRs. Furthermore, it has a profiling software that enables the unit to capture profiles of real amps via a Windows program, and since version 1.0.7, the same software can also translate NULL profiles into the proprietary mVave format, which is called UN. Once we have converted the NULL profiles into the UN format, we can upload those profiles into the G-Tank in one of its available 9 slots. We will check out how these converted profiles perform in the more sound section of this video, where we will also perform our null tests. The unit offers also some basic effects with a noise gate, 3 reverbs, 3 delays and 3 modulations that are in a fixed order and without the possibility to replicate many times the same effect. We can store our effect chains in 9 blocks of 4 presets each, for a total amount of 36 presets. The unit offers 2 working modalities: a preset mode, where each foot switch is associated with a preset, or a live mode, where each foot switch is associated with an effect that we can switch on or off. Furthermore, it can run on battery, thanks to a 3000 mAh battery that should last 12 hours. And this is a nice feature. We also have a computer and a phone app to customize our presets, but don't expect too much here, as the app is very basic and sometimes cumbersome, in my opinion. For instance, we have the EQ and gain knobs where the maximum values is over 100, and for instance, while loading a profile, it is not clear to me if the neutral values are at 50 or at half of the maximum value, just to mention some strange choices done here. The latency that I have tested is around 6.2 and 7.1 milliseconds, according to what you are using in the chain, profiles, amp modeled, IRs, etc. So we have a pretty big value here, and I will make a dedicated latency video later on in the channel for you to have more info on the latency performance of this unit. In terms of I/O, the unit features a guitar input, balanced XLR and unbalanced TS mono out in different sockets, a mini jack audio out for phone recording, an headphone out, and Bluetooth connectivity for wireless music streaming. It can serve as a 2x2 USB-C audio interface thanks to its USB-C port at 44.1 kHz and 24 bits. The dimensions are shown in the screen. It runs at 200 mAh, its weight is 613 grams, and the price is around $90. Let's now hear some more sounds also performing our beloved NULL test. Welcome to the more sound section of this video. We will now share 4 tests. With the first one, we will check out some overdriven tones, comparing the mVave converted NAND profiles versus a real Soldano. Then we will do the same tests but checking out some distorted tones and comparing the G-Tank to a real Mesa Boogie Mark V. Then with the third test we will perform our beloved NULL test, and lastly with the fourth test we will check out the dynamic range management and the note envelope of this unit versus the ones of the real Soldano SLO 100. Let's start with the first test with some overdriven tones. Okay, in my opinion it sounds pretty good, but there is a lack, especially in the low frequencies. And now let's check out some distorted tones, some more distorted tones. Once again, the NAND converted files sound pretty good, but we can clearly hear that the low frequencies are missing here. And now let's perform the NULL test, checking out my NAND profiles of a Soldano SLO 100 converted in the AN format versus the real deal. And just for reference, I would also add the results for the NAND plugin and for the Valiton GP file profiles. And please notice that all these profiles, included the one of the Tone King and of the Mesa Boogie, are included in my NAND Essential Profile Pack that you can check out following the link in the description below. Before the test result, let me give you a brief recap of what the NULL test is, if you are new to the channel. The NULL test is based on the principle that if we play 2 tones at the same time, with one of them phase inverted, the lower is the resulting integrated LUFS, the more the 2 tones are similar. So now let's play the NAND plugin versus the real Soldano. So the resulting LUFS is -40.8. And now the GP5 versus the real Soldano. And now the real Soldano with its NAND profile loaded in the Tank G phase inverted. So, with the G-Tank we have -28.8 LUFS. With the GP5 we have -30.6, where the NULL plugin scores minus 40.8, and just for reference, the NULL player scores minus 30.3 and the Tonix pedal scores minus 34.9. Of course, the fact that the NULL profiles is converted to the proprietary format and that the unit has a 24 bits at 44.1 instead of 48 kHz converters may be the reason why we have some quality loss. In fact, if we check out the dimension of the NULL profiles versus the one of the unconverted one, well, there is a pretty big difference here. And these are all information loss in the conversion. Therefore, some quality loss has to be expected. And now let's check out the dynamic range management and the note envelope. Okay, please let me know your opinions in the comment section below. I'm pretty curious to discuss and share with you the tonal differences you may have heard. And now let's jump to the conclusion with my 2 cents section of this video. Final considerations here, and please notice that these are gonna be my personal opinions for my specific use cases, and you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Furthermore, I have purchased this unit with my own money, just because you requested this video, and here you are gonna have only my honest opinions. First of all, in terms of modeled amp tones, well, the included modeled amps have not convinced me. I have to say that it was really hard to get a good tone. Where the unit shines, in terms of amp tone, is in its capability of creating profiles in its own format and the possibility to load NULL profiles converted in AN format. The tone we get converted in NULL profiles is much more convincing than the internal modeled amp, even if there is a pretty evident lack in the bass frequency when we compare the real deal with the amp profiles converted from NULL. A quality loss mainly derived from the conversion from NULL to AN, I guess, that is pretty evident even when comparing the dimensions of the original profile versus the converted ones. In terms of effects, I think that the reverbs are okay, where the delays are pretty hard to be used for me. The mix knob is pretty strange, I would say, and our original tone just seems to disappear, giving to me a sense of latency rather than a delay. In terms of latency, well, it is pretty high at 7 milliseconds, and nowadays many devices at even lower prices are performing better. But what really has pissed me off is the user experience, guys. I mean, the software suite is pretty messy. For instance, the software to convert NULL profiles runs only on Windows, and we have, first of all, to install the basic version. Then we have to patch it with the version 1.0.7. And when we patch it, we have to be sure that the original program is in its strange nested directory path. Then we have an application to customize this unit that runs on Mac, and that should be able to load AMP files. But the functionality to load AMP files in the Gtank does not work at all. I lost a lot of time there. We have to run the Windows version of that app to be able to load AMP files into this unit. Honestly, it took me an entire morning, more than 6 hours, to figure out how to convert AMP files and to load them into the Gtank. It was a nightmare, guys. Let me be honest. Okay, having said that, all in all, the unit could be an interesting solution for practicing purposes, especially using AMP files. But honestly, the user experience I had with the Matribox or the Valiton GP5 was much better than using this unit. And the GP5 and the Valiton are even cheaper, at least in euros. So I don't see the reason why I should get this over the GP5 or the Matribox, honestly. Now it's your turn. Please let me know your precious and valuable opinions in the comment section below. We have now reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell and leave a thumb up, as it would be of great help. If you're interested in my IRs or NAM or Tonix profiles, you can check out the link in the card above or description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine and to my new EP, Art, Love, Freedom. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.